What is going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Saturday, February 17th, 2024. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and smash that thumbs up. And we appreciate all love and support here at Pickdawgz. So if you like this content, again, drop those likes because we wouldn't be able to get to where we are today without your guys' love and support. So thank you so much for that. Wraparound definitely wouldn't be where it is today without you guys. You guys are the ones we do these videos, these long content videos for. So again, thank you so much for showing us all the love all these years. If you're looking for my best bets on the board, the games that I absolutely love, make sure that you head to Pickdawgz.com, click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Going to have an NHL 3-pack and have lots of college hoops on the board. 144-game college hoops card on the board today. Swept the board on college hoops yesterday. So hoping to carry that forward, have some success today, make you guys some money. But you know what? The best value of all is to go with a long-term pass. You know, it's going to cover you for all the weekend's action as well as a ton of action that I have on Saturday. And the 3-day and 7-day passes are actually cheaper, less than buying each of Saturday's daily packages individually. And you're going to get all the best bets, all the games that I love. So make sure you check that out. You can also take that daily pass with just me, or you can pair me up with one of your other favorite handicappers or any of your other favorite handicappers. We've got tons of them at Pick Dawgz. And you can do that as part of our multi-capper promotion. And remember to use that promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. But we have a whole morning show to talk about that later today. For right now, we do have a 13-game NHL card to go over. It's one of the tougher cards I think I've seen all season, but you know, it doesn't scare us off. We're here to make money, but you guys know the drill. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. Our first game on Saturday takes us to the TD Garden where the Boston Bruins take on the Los Angeles Kings. And, you know, two teams that are struggling right now. You know, the Kings did get a win last time out on the road over the New Jersey Devils 2-1. And the road teams won 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams. But the road form for the Los Angeles Kings is still alarming. I keep saying it. This is not the same Kings team that was running roughshod and winning games left and right on the road to start the year. The Boston Bruins, yeah, they've hit a bit of a cold snap right now. This is very un-Boston Bruins-like to lose 4 of 5 on a homestand, but the Boston Bruins are still 17-7-4. They're still one of the better teams in the NHL at home, and I think in a matinee spot in what is technically a bit of an early start for a West Coast team like the Los Angeles Kings, I think this could be a good sort of get-right spot for the Boston Bruins. If they can't pick up the win here, I don't know when we're going to be able to hop back on the Bruins right now. So I'm going to take the Boston Bruins in this one at minus 146. Now we go to the American Airlines Center where the Dallas Stars take on the Edmonton Oilers, and the Dallas Stars coming off of that big rout of the Nashville Predators in their last game. And a lot of times in a lot of pro sports, you know, after a team has a solid offensive showing like that, you fade them in the next game, but not for me in the NHL. You know, a lot of momentum like that can carry forward. And the Edmonton Oilers have been inconsistent since having their win streak snapped at the hands of the Vegas Golden Knights in their first game out of the All-Star break. They've alternated wins and losses in each of their last 5. Now, while that could suggest, if that pattern holds up, that the Edmonton Oilers are due for a win here, I still think that the Dallas Stars right now are the more consistent team since the All-Star break. And even a little bit slightly before that, they were playing well themselves. I'm not saying they were on a 16-game win streak, but they were playing really well in their own right. And right now, I just feel that, you know, the Dallas Stars still have the more trustworthy goaltending. I know Edmonton's had, you know, some great defense over the course of that win streak, but, you know, since the All-Star break, they've allowed at least 3 goals in all 5 games when they didn't do that for the majority of that win streak. So I think the Dallas Stars catching a near coin flip price at home is where I want to be. So give me the Dallas Stars on the money line at minus 115. Now we head to the United Center for this matchup between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Ottawa Senators. And, you know, for me, this game is the lesser of two evils. Do you trust the Chicago Blackhawks at home, where the Chicago Blackhawks have been terrible, but at least they've been winning games at home, or do you trust the Ottawa Senators on the road? And if this game was flipped, where Ottawa was at home and Chicago was on the road, I'd have no problems taking the Ottawa Senators, but Ottawa's had their issues on the road. You know, they are 7-13, a 35% win percentage on the road this season. And the Chicago Blackhawks are getting Connor Bedard back in the fold. Maybe that gives this team a boost. It's not easy to, you know, even take a shot on a team that's lost 8 games in a row and where offense has really been an issue with 2 goals or less in the majority of those games. But The Ottawa Senators haven't beaten the Chicago Blackhawks since 2014, and there have been a couple of stinkers in that Chicago Blackhawks, lineups in over the course of those years, and the Ottawa Senators still haven't been able to beat them. That's right, like I said, 10 years since Ottawa's beaten Chicago. Sometimes the team just has your number, and I got to keep riding with the Chicago Blackhawks. Take a shot on Chicago here at plus 158. Now we go to the Scotiabank Saddledome where the Calgary Flames take on the Detroit Red Wings, and you know this is a tough one because this is a Calgary Flames team that I've had my inconsistencies with. I've had a hard time backing. The Detroit Red Wings, have started to falter a little bit since the All-Star break. They got the win over Vancouver at home, but then they've had back out on the road, and they've given up 12 goals in 2 games. And both these teams are fairly identical. Detroit 12-12-1 at on the road. Calgary 12-12-1 at home. Detroit has won the last 3 head-to-head meetings between these two, but right now I just feel like I can trust the Calgary Flames goaltending a little bit more than I can the Detroit Red Wings, and I have to feel that the Calgary Flames want to get the bad taste out of their mouths after losing at home to the San Jose Sharks. So not a game I'm rushing to the window to bet on this card. This whole card is extremely tough, like I was saying, but I got to go with the Calgary Flames here at minus 126. Now we head to the XL Energy Center where the Minnesota Wild take on the Buffalo Sabers. And I mean, don't look now. This Minnesota Wild team can be very streaky, but right now they're on the good kind of streaky. I mean, out of the All-Star break, they've won their last 4 games. They've looked really good on the road against Arizona and Vegas. Now they come back home where they've been starting to play their better hockey, 13-11-3. Buffalo on the road, 11-11-3. So not terrible, but they still are just so wildly inconsistent. They had the big beatdown win over LA 7-0 on that homestand that they were just on, but then the other 3 games they lost, scoring 1 goal or less in all 3. So just really hard to trust the Buffalo Sabres right now. The Minnesota Wild, like I said, playing the much better hockey at this point. I just got to take the Minnesota Wild here on the money line at minus 152. Now we head to the Enterprise Center where the St. Louis Blues take on the Nashville Predators. And, we were talking about it earlier with that game with the Dallas Stars that, they absolutely kicked the crap out of the Nashville Predators. And now Nashville heads back out on the road where they have played their better hockey up to this point in the year. They flip-flop back and forth between playing it at home and on the road. But now, they do have a winning record on the road. The problem is that the St. Louis Blues play their best hockey at home. St. Louis coming off of that big win over Edmonton. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're just playing the far better hockey right now. And they're just a lot easier to trust. And, getting them at a near coin flip price sounds good to me. I know the Nashville Predators have had some recent head-to-head success between these two teams, winning the last 2 meetings, including the first meeting back in November. But I think the St. Louis Blues giving us a ton of value at this coin flip price. So give me the St. Louis Blues on the money line in this one. Now we head to the Amalie Arena where the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Florida Panthers. And, this Battle of Florida has become one of the better rivalries in the NHL because both these teams are so good. The Tampa Bay Lightning at the Amalie Arena have been, I don't want to say world beaters, but they've been really, really good at home over the years. And the Florida Panthers this season quietly establishing themselves as one of the best teams in the NHL. I don't want to say seemingly coming out of nowhere, but they've just been quietly been playing consistent hockey. And it makes it really hard to split hairs here. But that being said, you're giving me plus money with the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. It's not something that you see happen all that often. And Tampa Bay, 7-3 in the last 10 meetings, 21-8 in the last 29 meetings between these two teams in Tampa Bay. I think that's the difference for me here. I'm just taking a shot on the value in the spot. I'm going to take Tampa Bay Lightning here on the money line at plus 105. Now we're going to the Bell Center where the Montreal Canadiens take on the Washington Capitals. And, a battle between two teams that are really struggling to find their footing right now and two teams that could, in the worst way, use a win. And, it's just really hard for me to get behind the Washington Capitals in a spot like this. The Canadiens, they've won the last 3 meetings between these two teams. And not only that, they're at home. They play their better hockey at home. And they've just had more success, I feel, since the All-Star break. Washington, They got a nice win in Boston, but they've still lost 8 of their last 9 games. And we're getting the Montreal Canadiens at a favorable price at home. Yeah, I can't get on the Washington Capitals once again until they show me signs of life. So give me the Montreal Canadiens in this one at excuse me, at even money. Now we head to the Scotiabank Arena where the Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Anaheim Ducks, and the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line at home has not been a profitable venture this season. 6-20 are the Leafs on the puck line at home this season, but here's the thing: a lot of those were not against the Anaheim Ducks, who are 11-14-1 on the road, but Anaheim right now just really struggling to find their footing. They did get the win on the road over Ottawa, but they've also been getting their butts kicked in the previous couple games since the All-Star break. And Toronto, they played Philadelphia close in their last game, but this is a Toronto team that just has far more offensive potential than the Anaheim Ducks do. The goaltending has been a lot more sturdy since Ilya Samsonov, went down to the minors, got placed on waivers, and then now came back and has sort of reassumed the number one role in the crease for Toronto. And I just think the Leafs find a way to get the job done on the puck line here. The first meeting was close between these two teams. I don't look for the rematch to be that close. I'm taking the Leafs on the puck line in this one. Now we're going to MetLife Stadium for the Stadium Series between the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers. And normally you can try to cap these games all you want. It's a lot easier for me to just cap any game normally, but when these standalone Stadium Series games happen, you got to treat them differently, obviously, because the elements involved. And whenever I see these outdoor games happen, my first inclination is always to look at the under. It's not everybody's favorite, but the under I look at mainly because these elements mess with the ice surface. What happens is every 10 minutes usually, at the midway point of every period, they have to stop the game, bring shovels on the ice, clean off the ice surface, because sometimes the ice melts, sometimes it gets mucky, sometimes it gets messy. And you always see guys lose an edge on the ice. There's guys falling all over the place. The puck gets weird. And that's why I like the under here, because the elements just leave so many things up to chance that I just don't want to have to try to expect goals if guys are going to be flopping around there for a full 60 minutes. So I'm going to go with the under 5.5, under 6 goals. I think it's flip-flopping back and forth between 5.5 and 6. Whatever you can get it at, though, I like the under here. I don't expect many goals to be scored in this one. Now we're heading to Rogers Arena, where the Vancouver Canucks take on the Winnipeg Jets. And, the Winnipeg Jets, I keep talking about how consistent this team has been, and for good reason. I mean, Winnipeg quietly been playing some of the better hockey in the NHL all season, but who else has been doing is the Vancouver Canucks. And, the Winnipeg Jets since the All-Star break have really been struggling. And, they did get a couple of wins as of late. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1. They beat the San Jose Sharks 1-0. But here's the problem: is that's now 8 straight games where the Winnipeg Jets have scored 2 goals or less. Scored 2 goals or less in 9 of their last 10. And at a certain point, you can win games occasionally, these low-scoring games against teams like San Jose and Pittsburgh. You can win those games 2-1 and 1-0. But then you have to go up against teams like the Vancouver Canucks, who are one of the best goal-scoring teams in the NHL. And scoring 2 goals a night is not going to cut it in those spots, and I don't envision that it's going to cut it here either. I think the Vancouver Canucks have a lot more offensive potential in this matchup. Thatcher Demko's been playing out of his mind as of late, and I think that the Vancouver Canucks get the job done here. So give me the Vancouver Canucks on the money line at -126. Now we head to the SAP Center where the San Jose Sharks take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And, this matchup is tricky because these are two of the worst teams in the NHL. But that being said, I don't think the Columbus Blue Jackets should be laying juice on the road against almost anybody. I mean, if this game was in Columbus, you'd have an easier time making a case for Columbus at this price. But on the road, where they played their much worse hockey this season, 7-12-6 on the road compared to 9-14-4 at home. I know that those are 2 bad records, but I mean, still 7 wins out of 25 games on the road. Yeah, a 28% win percentage. Yeah, no thanks. The San Jose Sharks have had their issues this season, but they're still 9-13-2 at home this season. It's where they played their much better hockey. And I think the San Jose Sharks right now, like I said, this is more of a fate of the Columbus Blue Jackets laying juice on the road than anything else. I'm going to take the San Jose Sharks to the money line, plus money in this one. And our final game on Saturday's card takes us to the T-Mobile Arena, where the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And this is a tough one. These are two of the better teams in the NHL. And, the Carolina Hurricanes are playing some rock-solid hockey right now. The problem for me is that they are still on the back-to-back coming into this game. And while, Peter Kochetkov has done really well for the Carolina Hurricanes, and Antti Ranta has still been a serviceable backup, whether it's Frederik Andersen or Kochetkov that have been getting the starts, still doesn't supplant the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights are rested. They're at home in this one, and that's where they played their better hockey this season, 19-6-2. Carolina's been a much better home team. They have a solid road record of 14-11-1. But like I said, I think the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights have the advantage of rest in this matchup will prove to be the difference here. I'm going to take the Vegas Golden Knights in the cheap price at -122 at home to round things out. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Saturday, February 17th, 2024. Again, if you like this content, smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell in the description of this video below to get notified when the newest and freshest content drops here at Pick Dawgz. If you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and make sure to let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Good